kids and creative parents. We are back, and today for our creative critters, it is miniature bears. So I'm going to show you, don't be scared. It's okay. But these tiny little cute bears, we're going to make them. So I'm going to show you how to make them. But we're going to start with one that is this big, because this will be infinitely easier for me to show you, and it will probably pick up better on camera. So I'm going to start with, that's why he's blue, because I think the blue bear, you can see what I'm doing better. So here's what you're going to need. You're going to need some pipe cleaners, one to do the really miniature one, seed beads, different seed beads, and let me see here, also teeny tiny seed beads, and let's see, and then ribbon. Now here's the thing, you don't have to use this kind of ribbon. This is just what I'm using, and you'll see on my bigger bear I actually used ribbon, like cloth ribbon, and I'll show you an easy technique to get to that bow. So, no fear, these are all easy steps. The most difficult part of this is just remembering the steps to go in and to bend in the right direction. And I want you to let the littles try this, because I think it'll be fun for them to build dexterity and their motor skills. All right, so let's get started. Here's what we're going to do. So, to start out with, you're going to bend your pipe cleaner. I'm going to speak as if it's one, because that's what we're doing it like. Kind of like this, where you leave just a little bit at the bottom. Okay? So, and then got your loop here. So what you're first going to do is bend your loop towards you so it looks like that. Then you're going to take one of the sides, go up just a wee bit, and then you're going to do the same thing on the other side, and let me show you. It's going to look like that. Okay, and then you're going to squish together, and then twist, or I do. You don't have to, but I did. And once you twist it, now we're going to give the face a little more meat. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go over, and then we're going to go over. We're going to go back down. If this is all happening too fast for you, don't worry. I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to tell you every time. So you'll get a bit like this. See? And then we're going to twist again. That's a neck area kind of thing. And don't worry about it if it gets a little bit off. I'll show you how to straighten up everything. So then you're going to make his arms. One arm. And then we're going to do the other side. And try to do them as symmetrically as possible. If not, I'll show you how to fix that too. So he's got little arms, and he's crisscrossed again. So here's what you're going to do. Now we're going to go on down and make his legs. Straighten him out to where he looks like this. Then we're going to go up. Now, and again, just as long as you make it symmetrical, and again, we're not talking about perfectly, but you know, reasonably symmetrical. And then we're going to go over, and you're going to have him, and he's going to look like this. So we've mostly got him done. So here's what happens next. You're going to wrap around, and this is just to create the body. You wrap around whatever way it makes sense for yours, because he's not always going to come out the same. Okay, and if you're like me, you're going to want to do this more than one time. So, just to make sure. So that's about what you have. So here's what we're going to do. I want to, because this one in particular, you're not going to need to do this on the very miniature bear, but on this one, that is crazy nose, right? I mean, that's not a bear nose. So what we're going to do is we're going to scrunch him down, and that looks like a bear nose. Yeah? So you can see from the side. So the thing I like to do is push his ears together a little bit so he looks kind of like that, And then you can kind of bend him a little bit down. Now, we're also talking about small when we do it with the one. So you won't have to do as much bending. So with him, I then take his little arms and I'm going to bend him some hands. And again, with the smaller one, you may not be able to do this because you may not have enough. But for him, we're going to do that. And then I'm going to bend up his little toes. And there we have it. We have a miniature bear, but a big miniature bear. Okay, so here we go. Watch this again. I'm going to do it this time with a black one. Some of them are fluffier than others, so I wanted to show you more than once. We're actually going to do this 3 times. So just keep watching. Watch the video all the way through and then try it. Okay, so I'm going to give you this little order so you can try to remember this. So you do the face, the neck, arms, legs, and then body. And if you even want to shorten that, just go face, arms, legs. If you can remember that, you're not going to forget, okay, how to do this. And I had to do it a couple of times before I actually remembered. So once again, we're going to bend our pipe cleaner, make the loop at the top, and remember, just leave a little bit down here. I don't know why that works, but it does. So we're going to bend for the nose. You can see that again. And then we're going to take one side and bring it up, put in a little ear. And this time it looks like I'm doing it a little bit smaller. That might work better. I thought his ears over there were a little too flopsy. So he looks something like this. And then we're going to twist. That brings him in a little bit. And then we're going to take one side over, give him a little more meat on his face. And if he looks a little too skinny, don't worry about that. Remember, we're going to also go back and scrunch up the ears. So that'll get it back in gear. So there's that. There's the face. Next, we're going to do the arms. One arm, 2 arms. All right. And we're going to bring the legs down and make his legs. And you can see this one is much, much thinner. So let's see what happens. So I have him like this now. He's mostly done. So now I'm just going to start wrapping around so he has a good body. And ever how many times he goes around, that's what I'm going to do. And you could keep wrapping around the arms if that makes sense to you. You're just making him plump up, basically. Once you get all the parts, you can make it as plump so he looks more bear-like. So, okay, clearly look at his little arms. Poor thing. He has one arm that's longer than the other. It's okay. We're going to fix that. Okay. Scrush his ears. And remember what I said about scrushing them in together. So there he goes. And then I'm going to pinch this and just fold it down. And you might want to bring it out a little bit. There we go. And there you go. He looks more bear-like at the head to me. So I'm going to go with this head. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to pinch his little arms. And I'm going to just bring it in. Curl it in a little bit. And see? Can't even tell the difference. I know it's very far and you can't see it. But remember, it's pipe cleaner. So it's bending. You can bend however you want. You can make it look better any way you want to. So, and because he's a little more spindly, I'm going to give him bigger feet so that he comes up. And here's the other thing I like. So if you bend your head on accident a wrong way, don't worry. You got a sassy bear then. So if you'll notice on this one, that's what I did. Poor thing, his head is just kind of leaning, but who cares? It's still cute. You could just make him into the sassy bear. All right, so there's that bear. All right, we've got two bigger miniatures. So here we go. I'm gonna do the small one. Remember, face, arms, leg. We're gonna bend. And I like the small ones because they really do turn out so cute. So if you have a dollhouse, little girls or boys, you can make your own little teddy bear. You don't have to buy one. All right, so remember, leave that space at the end. And then we're gonna bend. And you see here, it's a little bit less. But we're gonna do the same exact thing. We're gonna bring up one side, make his little ears. Okay, I'm gonna put that down because he's gonna be a fox here in a minute. Okay, a little bit down. And, all right, so there we go. So there you go. You can see my little ears. Just try to straighten them up. There's his little head. Turn. We're gonna turn over, give his face a little more meat on the bones. And you see how this turns out a little bit better with the small ones. There you go. So here's what we're doing. Going with our little arms. There's one arm. We're gonna go with the second arm. And there it is. And just remember, you're scrushing this whole time. See, his little head wants to turn around too. That's okay. There's that. And now we're gonna pull down here. You can turn it if you want to. If it gets a little bit wieldy, too wieldy, and wants to come away, go ahead and twist it a little bit. There, till it looks like this. And then we're gonna bring up his little legs. And there's that. And there he is, mostly. So then I'm gonna just put the meat on his bones on his little body. There's that. And you can keep going around if you want a little fluffier bear. And there he is. So here. Now, I will tell you that when you make the most miniature bear that we were just talking about, it is a little bit more difficult to bend up on his little limbs, but just turn them in whatever way you see fit, so until they bend the way you want them. Again, it's bendy, but it's a little bit of a less of a bend, so it might take a little bit. So there you go. There's our little miniature bear. All right, so here's the next part. It's putting on the eyes. I will tell you, if you don't want to mess with the seed beads, I think you can shape your little bear into a very cute bear without eyes. And if you're lucky, sometimes the little wire part of the bear will land up in just the right space so it looks like he has eyes anyways. I wouldn't worry about it. But if you want eyes, let me show you what I did to get the eyes. And these are the beads I'm telling you. They are so teensy. And I totally get it if you don't want to do this. I wouldn't if you don't have to make it look like a bear. So I have some needle nose pliers, jewelry needle nose pliers actually. Let me just show you. These puppies are so teensy. Do you see that? Yeah. My glasses don't even work well with this. Not seeing much at all myself. But you can use some needle nose pliers, and I will tell you, you can use school glue. And I do think that the school glue is better. I'm going to use my, hot glue because it's faster for us. But I would recommend that you go ahead and use the school glue because it's going to dry clear and you won't have to shave away so much. So here's what I'm going to do on my little bear that I just did. I put a little dot right on one side. And see how big that is? That's part of what I don't like about the hot glue. Then I'm going to take my needle nose pliers. And, well, I said I was. Then I'm going to stick it right on there and try to get away as clean as possible. And you won't be able to get any of that glue off there until it is way dry. But I will show you something else that I had to do to make it all right. Used a little marker, Sharpie marker, to cover over the glue because it was just easier. That will happen too if you use hot glue. Another reason not to do that. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, glue's now dry. Again, that's a reason not to use it, but we're going to. All right. It's a test, so just play with it. And so there's my little bear. He's a little fluffier in the middle. But you can see you're going to have to wait for his little eyes to get very dry before you can mark on him. So the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to do his ribbon. So if you use fabric ribbon, I'm going to tell you, leave it attached to the roll and then just do this thing because you'll make a nice enough ribbon. Now this is not going to because it's not fluffy enough. Okay, so you've just put a knot in a bit of the ribbon, the fabric ribbon, and you just cut it off, and then you're just going to cut down. Actually, this doesn't look so bad, but you just keep cutting it down to where you like it, and then that becomes your ribbon. Now, I'm going to show you on this little bear. See what I mean? I didn't tie a real ribbon because it just would be insane and my eyeballs would fall out of my head, so we didn't do that. All right, so that's for if you use cloth. But here's what I did for my little bear. Now this one, you can leave it attached, and even the littles can do this because, you're leaving it attached. And you do this kind of thing, and see how big that is? So you just move it until it gets to the size you want, and let it go on down. And then gonna tighten it back up again. If that's still too big, go a little bit more. Be careful here because then you can rip out your knot and you'll have to start all over. But as far as problems goes, if that's the biggest problem you got, you're doing good. All right. There we go. I'm going to go a little bit more. I'm going to tempt fate here and just keep going down. All right. I like that one. So then I'm going to cut this side, and then I'm going to cut this side. And you can see I have a cute little bitty ribbon. All right. So now we're going to put it on our cute little bitty bear. Okay, stick it right under his little nose, and there he is. Ta-da! Now you have your cute little, miniature bear. All right, guys, I hope you have fun with this. I know this seems a little tedious, but it's also fun. Like once you get the hang of it, you'll probably just have an explosion of miniature bears all over your house. I actually do. My family's starting to wonder about me. It's okay. They're cute. So make away, have fun, and bring them in and show me if you come into the library. All right, guys, this has been Creative Critters from Georgetown, Kentucky, and I'm Michelle. I'll see you next time.